Hello, people. We're live on the Main Event Boxing Talk. How are you, Tom?
Good, Nathan. How are you over there?
I'm good, mate. In sunny old England.
Doing
Right,
well.
Let's get on with it. Jaron Ennis overpowers Chuck Hazian to retain the IBF welterweight title. What was your opinion on this fight, Tom?
Well, I'm a big fan of Boots. However, both of these fights with this opponent exposed a few things, especially this one. He took a lot of punches he shouldn't have taken, and it was his footwork and his the way he was eating left hooks at times and straight right hands. He shouldn't do that. He's too good to do that. And he's not going to be able to get away with it at 154.
Yeah.
Like, his footwork was left a little bit to be desired with him moving out of the way of punches and leaving his hands down through. What do you think?
I think it was a good performance, but like you say, he gets hit too often and too much, and I think he needs a bit more seasoning. I don't think he's a finished article. He's far from it.
Yeah, he's had a lot of fights, but I think guys are going to be less cautious to match with him now, especially at 154. That's going to be a little bit dicier for him.
I mean, there is an article at the bottom that says here he's unmotivated and he may move up to 154. He's going to find it even more difficult there.
Well, he could go up there. Maybe Terrence Crawford will fight him if there's enough money from the shoot. I mean, any of those guys up there, they hit harder.
How old is he anyway? Is he 24 or something?
He's young, yeah. He's
got time to develop. I just think they brought him along a bit too quick,
Right.
To be absolutely honest. They've hyped him up, too much. Crawford didn't have this when he was younger, did he? He won the world title. He did it quietly, with no real fanfare when he won the titles,
Yes, that's true. So maybe he could unify down there, but the guys at 154 I think are going to be a little bit too brutal on him.
But 147, he can clear that division out within a year or 2 years if he gets a chance. But I don't think the other champions will want to fight. But after seeing that, they may change their minds,
It depends. I mean, that guy was a rough customer. He stood up to everything. He didn't get knocked out.
Yeah.
And he had him rocked a couple of times. So I would say if he can't make 147 and he goes up to 154, fight some lower opposition to get accustomed to the weight. He may bring more power up to 154, but we're not going to know that until he goes up there because he has the frame for it. But we'll have to see.
I don't see the rush. I think he can wait it out a couple of years,
Yeah, and people are going to study this fight with him. People that as he moves up that ladder, they'll look at this fight and see his tendencies.
But
because footwork is harder to correct.
It is, this problem I see with him, the problem with today's boxing, there's too much social media. So fighters will never, how many fighters have we lost to social media wrecking their careers, because they said the wrong thing?
Well, when it comes down to him and he's undefeated and whatnot, I mean, his stock is still good, but I think he may have to take it a little bit easier if he moves up. But we'll have to see because he can't stand in the pocket like that.
The problem is the minute you get a world title, you can't go back below that level, really. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if you're going into a new division, they have contenders. He could fight one of the lower contenders.
Yeah.
He will be a contender. He won't be a champion fighting.
No, he'll be a contender, but so he could be a champion in time,
Yeah, he could cherry pick.
I just think he should stay at 147 for a couple more years if he can make the weight and try and unify. Then that way his stock will be a bit bigger. Then, if you're the WBO champion, you automatically get a shot at the next belt, obviously. The weight above, as we know, in the States and the rules.
Right. All right.
Right, we'll move on.
What do you have next here?
For next, I've got the Gilberto Ramirez, Chris Billam-Smith undercard. Only one of the fights on here I'm going to talk about, which is a Tevin Farmer, William Zepeda Segura fight. This is a 10-round fight. Tevin Farmer's come back in the last year and he's had a couple of fights. Zepeda is a favourite for this, so Tevin Farmer is the fall guy. I don't think he's got a lot left from the performances I've seen of his recently.
Are you talking about Farmer or Zepeda Segura?
Talking about Tevin Farmer.
You know, Tevin Farmer is hard to predict. Sometimes he looks good, and he didn't look especially great his last time out.
I mean, he's 33, 34 now. You know, he's not. I mean, he had his world title run under the Matchroom, you know, banner. As we know, he made 5-6 defences in 2017 or whatever. I don't think he's got too much left.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with that based on his last two fights.
Yeah, you know, he's fought minimal opposition guys ranked out of the top 200 in the world.
You know, he's game. He's game. He'll put up a good fight. I expect Zepeda Segura to win this one, but it'll be good.
Oh yeah, easily.
Are you picking a winner with Smith and Ramirez?
Let me see. There might be one or two fights. Can I just see if there's one more fight on this card?
Oh, sure. Take a look.
Before we go on to that fight. Let me have a look. No, there's nobody else that interests me there or who I know who they are. I think Ramirez is going to win on split decision.
I would agree with you. I think he's a better boxer. He moves better.
Yeah.
He's faster, and has more experience with upper level fighters. You know, he's fought some.
Yeah. He's also Ramirez, believe it or not, is actually an inch shorter. I thought he was taller, but he's not. He's an inch. Not that it'll make much difference. Smith doesn't have the power to knock Ramirez out. Ramirez has got more skill. He's a more slick fighter, so he'll win it on the outside. He won't have to get involved in too much of a scrap. Because if it goes into a scrap, then I'd fancy Billam-Smith to win, to edge it, you know. But yeah. I think Ramirez is a smart fighter. He's big enough to physically. He's, you know, just as big as him, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know how the hell Ramirez ever made super middleweight. Do you? When looking at it.
Well, he was younger and he could take the weight off. You know what I mean? And who knows what? You know, who knows how he did it? But he just grew out of it. I mean, he just.
I mean, even at light heavyweight, he just didn't have. You know, he had the skill, but I just don't think he could make the weight. You know, that's obviously why he's gone up to cruiserweight. Well, he's talking about going up to bridgerweight after this, then possibly going to heavyweight. I could see him going to bridgerweight or heavyweight quite easily, you know. To be honest,
whether or not he'll survive up there is another story. But I think
I think he could do the skill. You know, he could do it. I think he could do it. It's not like he's like. It's not like he was like James Toney, who wasn't very tall. James Toney was only 5'9", 5'10". So, you know, he's got an advantage over guys like the power and the size.
Right.
I think he wins this by split decision. He wins all the belts, but I wouldn't pick him to beat up Opetaya based on what I've seen of him.
I would tend to agree with that. Opetaya right now is just, he's on another level.
Well, he is, yeah.
You know, he's on another level, and it would be a good match, though.
Definitely, yeah. You know. But no, I'm going to pick him to win. So, because the fights in Saudi Arabia, let me have a look at the next card. Let me go to the next card. Next thing is the Mike Tyson card. I'm just bringing it up quickly. Tyson. Where's Boxer? Oh, here we go. Right, let's start with a world title fight. This is for the WBC welterweight title. We've got Mario Barrios against Abel Ramirez. This is an interesting fight.
It is. Barrios is rated much higher, but it'll be a tough fight.
He is, but... Sorry?
Yeah, continue, please.
I think this is one of them. Barrios is one of them fighters that will lose to someone who's not very good. I don't really rate Barrios that high. I never have rated him that highly. I think he's lucky this isn't a tough guy he's fighting. Otherwise he'd have real problems.
Right.
Do you agree?
Yes, I do. I do. Barrios, yeah, he should win. I don't
Yeah.
see him losing this fight,
Neither do
but I agree with you on that score.
I often wonder how is this man a two-time world champion at welterweight. I just try not to laugh. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of he's a lucky man, isn't he? Really,
He is. I mean, Davis took him out, but he put up a good fight with Davis for a while. But Davis took him out, and then he lost to Thurman after that. But he's worked his way back. But I mean, the best fighter he fought was Ugas, where he won a unanimous decision. And then
I don't know how he did it, but
Fabian Mandagna. But he's not anyone to like. He's not a dog. He'll fight.
No, he's tough, but technically, I mean, he doesn't have this, that skill of the elite fighters. I don't class him as in the elite set.
Yeah, his opponent is a good puncher. So it should be good. But I think he's going to outclass him. That's what I'm thinking.
I think we could even see an upset here because Barrios, he's, I mean, I just.
Well, Barrios has been active, so it's possible we could have an upset. But he's been active. Let me see what the other guy's been doing.
There's a problem on Boxer. There's a question mark on every fight. Okay. Oh dear. I don't know what that means.
Neither do I.
Have a look.
But the fight's going on.
Well, it started already, but that's the preliminaries, isn't it? That's not the real thing.
They don't start till 5, yeah.
Yeah, in another half an hour. Right, then we've got Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano. I think Amanda Serrano is going to win this rematch.
Well, it was a war, and there was a case for her winning last time, but she ran out of steam.
Yeah, Katie Taylor's not the same fighter since she lost to Cameron,
Right, but still, Serrano does have stamina trouble. This is going to be another war. I mean, Katie Taylor's got to learn not to get involved in a war with her.
Well, she's good enough not to. She's got the skill where she can win it. She's beaten it before. She can do it again. Yeah. But whether she does or not is another thing. Both very good fighters. Two elite fighters in that division.
Right.
Right. Let's go to the what is it? The Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. God. Well, what can you say about this one? Oh dear, you go first. I'm lost the way.
It's a money grab, but I'm worried for Mike because, first of all, he's 58. Second of all, we don't know what his stamina is like and what his punch resistance is like now because since he's been off, he's been doing a lot of weed and mushrooms. Yeah. And that could affect your brain, and how he's going to react to a punch after that. I mean, yeah, he was getting high when he was younger fighting, but, he deteriorated fast.
Yeah. I believe that his balance has gone. He's shot to pieces. His resistance is non-existent. His power isn't there anymore. He's still got power. That's the last to go, obviously. He's still got power, but no, I think his stamina will be way down. His resistance is gone. His power is not what it was. It's not going to be enough. Jake Paul will just walk him down, and it will be over in about 1 or 2 rounds.
Well, I don't think Jake is going to walk him down. I think what Jake's going to do is be smart and let Mike chase him to make him tired.
Yeah.
Because I think from what I'm seeing from Mike's training videos, he's going to rush him, try to get him into the ropes. If Mike has a chance, it's a good body attack.
Yeah, if he can get in early and hit him with those punches early, it's over. But if not, then he's going to be worn down and get knocked out. Yeah,
because I watched Jake's fight with Tommy Fury, and Tommy, with only 2 fights, that was his 3rd fight, he was hitting him with clean combinations, 2, 3, 4 punch combinations. So if
Mike Tyson's a 58-year-old man. He hasn't got those reflexes anymore, you know?
Yeah, but he could still rush him forward. That's how he's training, to rush him forward and just throw a lot of punches and connect with.
Wouldn't he been better having the tactic that Jake Paul comes to him and then he hits him on the counter? Because obviously he's sneaky, he knows all the tricks, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what the strategy will be. I expect Jake to move for about 3 rounds. If
Tyson's going to chase him, he's making a mistake. He could bum rush him and get him in there and get him out of there if he has the ambition. If he can connect, Jake Paul obviously get knocked out.
Well, yeah. Well, Mike is definitely, even though Mike is older and slower, he's a better boxer.
Yeah, but he's noticeably slower. From obviously at 58, he's going to be noticeably slow. And also, I watched a training video in the exhibition training. He looked terrible. But
how long ago was the training video?
Where they do the public workouts. About 3-4 days ago.
Right.
Anyone can look good in sparring. Anybody can look good in a 30-second clip if you change the angle, of the camera and stuff. This is an accident waiting to happen. I just pray that he doesn't get hurt.
So do I. I think Jake has a puncher's chance. That overhand right.
Yeah,
and he does a left hook. But I don't think Mike is going to make it easy for him. You know what I mean? Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, there's so much. I mean, if you look at the two of them at this point, I mean, Jake is fresher. Jake is probably going to be stronger in many ways.
And he probably hits harder than Tyson. Do you know what I mean?
Right. But he's got to connect. That's the thing.
If he doesn't connect, then it will just be 8 rounds of Jake winning on points. If he wins this only on points, it's not going to look good for Jake Paul, is it? He has to knock Fury. He needs to knock Tyson out.
Well, we'll see. I really don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you.
If he can't knock out a 58-year-old man, then there's a problem. A guy who's been retired for him, then there's a problem. Seriously, then he should reconsider his career. If he loses this fight.
Well, of course, I want Mike to win.
So we all do. I mean, I like Jake Paul as well. I'm a fan of Jake Paul as well. But I just think Jake Paul just hits too hard,
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll find out soon, man.
But something else has come out. Did you see the script I sent you? Apparently, somebody leaked the script.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if that's true or not. We'll have to see.
Probably not.
Fake news,
I thought it was pathetic. Then I saw somebody put a video that Mike Tyson's knocked out Jake Paul when the fight hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with the internet, right?
So what will happen if Jake Paul wins this fight? Obviously, nothing really. It would just mean more legends will call him out. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's a circus show, so we'll see, what happens. I mean, the first real boxer...
If Mike Tyson... If this goes to 8 rounds and Tyson survives, or even if he loses, I think he should continue having, exhibition fights with other aged fighters,
Right.
Why not give Danny Williams a call?
Oh, no.
I'm sure people would watch that. That would be funny. Danny Williams is still fighting. Danny Williams is fighting.
It's all going to depend on how he does.
But right, any British level fighter or even area like or English area fighter would wipe Mike Tyson out in one round, right?
Yeah, I think if Paul wins, he's just going to keep doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
If he gets destroyed,
which I don't blame.
That's going to derail his choo-choo train.
Yeah. But he's conning the public. We all know he's conning the public because those kids, because people want to see him. I mean, I like Jake Paul, but I never paid to watch his fights.
Right.
Right. Let's move on. In other news.
Ajit Kabayel, coward or smart strategist, avoiding Bakoli for Dubai shot.
Well, I think it's clever. Why not? Why would you want to take?
Exactly.
Why would you want to eliminate? You've got nothing to gain from fighting Martin Bakoli, have
you? No.
You've got other than a beating. Yeah, I do think Kabayel would beat him. To be honest,
it's hard to say. I mean, Caballel's a good boxer, and he's developed some power.
I think he would win. I believe that Bacall is a very limited fighter. Right? He's already been knocked out by Michael Hunter, and and Jared Anderson just didn't have the experience. I think that Jared Anderson win has made Martin Bacall look better than what he actually is.
Mm.
It's true. It is.
I'm going to agree with you. I think Caballel, even though Bacoli's a very strong puncher, Caballel's got a better boxing IQ.
And I think he'd knock him out because the same thing would happen what Michael Hunter did to him.
Yeah.
I don't think Bacall's got a lot better. He's got better, but he hasn't improved tenfold. He's just put on a bit more weight and learned a different style.
Yeah.
There's nothing really different about what he does now to what he did 5 years ago.
Yeah, I don't think Michael Hunter even has as good a boxing IQ as Caballel.
No, he doesn't. But he's a cruiserweight, isn't he? A cruiserweight who's jumped up cruiserweight. Pumped up cruiserweight.
Right.
Pumped up over. Right. Let's move on. No, I don't want to do that. No.
So Gervonta Davis, his fight is moved, right?
Yeah, that's correct. I don't know the reason why, if it's an injury or what. I'm not sure.
Yeah, what's the talk on this?
Let me have a quick look at the article very quickly.
Let's see.
Have a look.
So Lamont Roach, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it says possible reasons: zero fan interest, need for a strong supporting cast, additional time required to promote. The fights in that the fights in that.
You're going to look for another destination. Apparently.
I mean, yeah, I think Tank Davis is excellent. I don't know about Lamont Roche, if he'd be able to deal with him.
Yeah, he is.
So, but
right, let me have a look at it. Let me just look this other thing that I found. There's something else that I found, which is quite disturbing. Oliver McCall is making a comeback.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh God, no!
Let me see if it's unboxed correct.
Oh God! I saw that. He was in.
Yeah.
Prison for a while.
He's fighting in 4 days. He's fighting in 4 days in a 4-rounder.
Oh God!
But to be fair to him, out of all those guys, he was fighting as recently as 4 years ago. He was the only guy who had any sort of talent left. The old heavyweights. The old guys that's fighting.
Right.
He was active. He was winning fights against good people.
He was doing real well, and then he had that mental breakdown.
Yeah.
And
he won a few fights. Carry on.
I heard also the Nigerian fighter who was arrested for rape. What was his name?
Oh yeah, Ibuche.
Ike Ibuche. He's trying to come back too.
Oh, embarrassing.
Oliver McCall. That was a sad thing. He, with all his mental issues. I was sorry. I mean, he was having a breakdown in the first Lennox Lewis fight. Then he went out there and knocked.
His opponent, Stacey Fraser, is terrible. He's got 16 wins, 22 losses. He lost his last 15 fights in the last 5 years. So McCall will take him out quite easily.
Wow.
Oh, dear, I give up.
It's just sad, especially if he gets hurt, Yeah, so what are we looking at now? Kovalev is also being told to retire.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially after the last one.
He could do exhibitions and make money doing exhibitions,
I still say he won the first one with Andre Ward, and the second one he lost on fouls. If you watch that fight, he hit him 3 low blows in a row, and the referee didn't do anything about it.
Didn't do bugger all.
No, nothing. So whatever. I don't want to bring up bad feelings, but yeah.
Okay.
And that's the way it was.
The next thing, Francis Ngannou and Deontay Wilder takes a step closer to reality. Oh, dear.
Why? Why?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I'm, you know, at this point, I'd pick Ngannou to win that fight.
I just don't want to see Deontay in the ring anymore. I like
I
the
mean,
guy so much. I think
I mean,
he's got
he's
damage.
not that badly damaged. He's damaged, but he's not too bad. I think he could come back, you know, have a couple of fights against lower level people, you know, people outside the top 60. Like your, I don't know, what do you call him? Like your Dave Allens or your, you know, people like that, or your Trevor Bryan sort of people.
But you know, he
That's-
was at the pinnacle. He doesn't need the money. He's been
No, he
smart
doesn't.
with money. You know what I'm saying?
But if he was to continue, I say he has to get rid of Malik Scott very quickly.
Yeah.
Go back to Mark Breland, have a couple of low-level fights, you know, fight who's low-level, you know, like target Emmanuel Char kind of fight, you know, a Derek Chisora. I mean, do you think he could beat Derek Chisora? I don't think he could at this stage. He should be able to.
I would rather see the man retire.
So would I, but I want to see him in one more fight. I want to see him have a couple of low-level fights on some rubbish cards, then fight someone like Derek Chisora, who I'm sure he should be able to knock out, right?
Right. Do you think Francis could beat him?
There's a very slight chance, but no. I think Wilder would outbox him for about 4 rounds, then he would knock him out.
Right. I just think Ngannou should stay in his lane, and Wilder should ride off into the sunset. He's got nothing to prove.
Yeah. I mean, Ngannou, he's very good at mixed martial arts. You know, he's gone to a lower federation than the UFC now. He's gone to a weaker place, but he's getting more money. So I don't mind seeing him box because we know he can, you know, we know he can knock people out. We know he's not like Jake Paul. He's a real, you know, combat fighter, you know. He's the real deal. But just not at boxing.
He is.
I think Ngannou could have a career at boxing if he fought, like I say, the Dave Allen level people. You know, he would beat Dave Allen quite comfortably, I'd say. But that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I got a warm spot for Deontay. You know, for his guts, for what he's put on the line.
He's not as shot as someone like Lucas Brown was. You know, he's shot, but he's not that shot. You know, he could still beat the guys outside the top 40.
Right. But
that's not good enough for him. You know, he's been a world champion. You know, he's been knocked out a few times now. Yeah, I guess it is time for him to walk away.
Yeah, I don't want to see him in the ring anymore. Please, you know, go out when you're okay.
Yeah. But I'd like to see him have one more fight against a low-level fight, you know, a fight they can knock someone out and say goodbye, you know? That's all I want to see.
That's up to him and his family, you know. I know what you mean. Like, let him leave off on a win. But that didn't work out for some champions, some older champions, if we remember.
Muhammad Ali.
Miguel Cotto lost his last one.
Yeah. But, Wilder's not like the state of where Muhammad Ali was, is he? He's not as shot as Muhammad Ali was, you know, in his last fight against Trevor Berbick.
But, you know, if Ngannou lands a hard punch, too, he can knock him out.
That's what I'm a bit worried about, you know, so it's 50-50 then. Right, we'll end the podcast there. I'm just going to end the podcast.
Do you have something here with Munguia?
No, I'm not. I don't want to talk about that. We don't.
All right. Well, let's send a shout out to Todd Spencer. We hope he's okay.
Yeah.
Missing in action. We'll find him.